Hey, hello everybody. Today's date is Valentine's Day 2016. I'm in La Jolla, California, San Diego County. My name is Leslie Williams. I am a target victim and activist concerning the criminal expeditions of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. Now, I feel compelled a little bit to make this following statement. I'm just going to go ahead and make it. I know it's not necessary for me to make it, but I'm going to make it anyways. I'm not going to, and I'm not trying to offend anybody's deliberations by making this statement, but I wonder just every great now and then if people are sick of hearing about what's happening towards me in La Jolla. As a result of how many videos and everything that I got online. You know, I have a strong feeling that what's happening to me is affecting the community of La Jolla because so many people know about it. Part of the reason why so many people know about it is because so many citizens in La Jolla have been duped to participate in what's happening to me. Hold on. And I'm going to have to make this statement as well. Stay with this video. I guarantee you'll be glad you did. Absolutely. But I'm going to just expand a little bit more on that, what I was just talking about. See, part of the reason why I do what I do is because I don't ever want to feel like it at all. For one, considering what I know and considering what I've exposed, considering what I know is happening to my fellow targeted individuals, okay, and if you knew everything I know, and oh my God, what's in the blog that I'm currently using, UCSD and Law Library, Are They Networking Gang Stalking? Fellow American citizens, what's in that blog is nothing compared to what I know. A lot of what I know I can't even talk about because I can't prove. And since the absolute method of these criminal expeditions, organized stalking and gang stalking, is that the filthy sewer rat criminal rat ass whores that are in the system will use what you say against you in order to continue what's left of your life, the destruction of it. Okay, by putting you in an institution, a jail, a prison, a group home, whatever. So targeted individuals have to be very careful about what they expose, what they know, what they expose concerning what they know. Okay, so, but you know, if somebody had tapped me on the shoulder or approached me or even sent me an email or letter stating, Leslie, this is what's going to happen to you or this is what's happening to you, I guarantee you I would not have experienced at least 70% of what I did in Michigan and Connecticut. Okay, I cannot, as a human being, as a woman, okay, as an American citizen, I have to be responsible, okay, to to my community, to expose what's happening to me, my fellow targeted individuals, and to inform the public about what's going on. Because I'm going to guarantee you something right now, fellow American citizens, make no mistake about this. What is happening to organized stalking, gang stalking targets is escalating on a feverish scale, okay, in reference to how many people are going to end up being affected by this, including children. I'm not making these statements because of high-minded ideas that I have in my mind about rescuing people or rescuing our communities, or because of emotionalism due to trauma. No, I'm making my statements because of the military family I come from, what I know about what my ex-husband was involved in the military, through and from experience and in-depth, exhaustive, educated knowledge. Make no mistake about it, and I'm not the only targeted individual stating that. What's happening to us organized stalking, gang stalking targets is, if I say that it's coming to everybody, the system can even use that against me, okay? Literally, because one of the main mechanisms of these filthy maggots that are in the system who are perpetrating these criminal realities attempt to imply that targeted individuals are mentally ill, delusional, paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar, schizophrenic with paranoid ideations, which is all over the internet that they do this. So, hear me when I tell you, and I am not the only one exposing this, what is happening to us is escalating in every single town, city, county, and state in the United States. And it's escalating for a reason. Now, fellow American citizens, let me take a puff off my cigarette because I just got to this area. And, and I'm tired. I'm also going to take a drink of water real fast. Now, the reason why I decided to make this so I'm just gonna make one more statement. Hold on. So I apologize if anybody in La Jolla or San Diego kind of feels like this problem would go away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize for. I can't apologize for what's happening to me because it's happening to me by criminals. Do you understand? Of course you do. What I'm trying to say, okay, and I'm not being direct with you. I'm just saying what I'm trying to say is that if somebody had moved into your neighborhood like a sexual deviant, wouldn't you want to know about it? Okay? The people that are perpetrating these criminal realities are worse than those people. So you, as a mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, whatever, you have a right to know what's going on in your community. You may think to yourself, well, this is affecting me. It's not affecting me, but it's not affecting you, so I'm tired of hearing about it. Well, obviously you have the choice not to watch my videos, but understand, the point being is that you need to educate yourself concerning what I am exposing and what my fellow targeted individuals are exposing. And once you really exhaustively research these criminal realities, I guarantee you, you'll be glad that you did not stop listening. Okay, so just trust me on this. Now, anyways, hold on, I can't help but laugh because when I'm video shy. So when I laugh, it's just, and I think some of it comes from psychological shock because sometimes I just can't, I had that moment of, I look at my surroundings as I'm making this video. I just came from Ralph's again, where people were repeating the same vile shit around me. Okay, they're acting like, I'm just going to interject another thing. Do you really think that for 1 second, that it's normal for people to get around you and repeat gang stalk? Oh my God, gang stalking, oh my God, gang stalk, suck my dick, gang stalk, crazy, gang stalk, weird, non-stop, repetitively, laugh with each other as they're doing it. Okay, and make you feel like you are the problem when they're the ones who are doing it. You just came into a grocery store to buy things, maybe sit there and use your computer for a little bit and you bother nobody. They're the ones who are doing it, just like they were the ones, just like people were doing it at ABCSD and along my routes. But these people try to treat you like you're the problem when look, tape recorders don't lie. My tape recorder of over 1,000 audio files of people repeating this same exact identical bullshit and total absolute insanity around me every day, everywhere I go. If you were to hear all of these audio files, you'll see me not doing a damn thing. Just minding my own business, not doing a damn thing. You'll see that it's them doing it. So these dumbasses honestly are acting like what they're doing is normal, okay, and that the target is the problem when they're the ones who are doing it. That's one of the things that blows my mind about this, is that these dumbass little maggots inside of Ralph's and at UCSD and how it's being perpetrated along all my routes everywhere I go, they treat you like you're the problem. When the target is only walking into a place, dealing with their business, minding their own business, and not bothering a soul, and they're being victimized, but yet they're treated like the ones who are responsible for it. Do you see the insanity? Hold on. And then the way the police and the prosecutors and the public defenders and the DA's office and the judges treat the target, because they got to protect their asses and the places that are used. So they participate in the victimization of the target. Hold on. While trying to make it appear that the target's mentally ill. I mean, do you have any idea how insane this shit is? Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to first illustrate some things to you concerning how detectives, let's just say detective or private investigators, might research a crime that they have been pertaining to a case they've been given, like if it's the police, detective, or a private investigator. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because it's going to lead into the descriptions of how patterns the same exact identical patterns that were repeated towards me. Okay, so you can see the victimization that I have endured in Connecticut, San Diego in 2 separate calendar years in reference to 2006 when I was out here between 1 and 38 days, and every day since I've been back to San Diego, arriving back to San Diego on August 8, 2011 up to today's date, which is Valentine's Day 2016. Hold on. Now, whenever a detective or a private investigator, and so I don't have to repeat both, I'll just say a detective, because I think you're going to get the idea about what I'm talking about here in a minute. Whenever a detective is given a case, let's say it's a case involving a gang, but don't get confused with gangs and gang stalking. Even though some gang members can play a role in gang stalking, make no mistake about it, it's the system that's perpetrating these criminal realities. But I'm going to give you the following illustration concerning a detective literally investigating a crime that they suspect or it has been implicated that a gang perpetrated it. So just bear with me and you'll understand the point I'm trying to make in a minute. Whenever a detective, whether it be just one or two or whatever, is assigned to a case pertaining to a crime happening, they'll arrive at the crime scene and they will deduce through what happened, as far as whatever physical evidence they have, whatever witness testimony they have, whatever physical evidence they have, phone records, anything and everything that they can get their hands on in order to be able to sit back and say, okay, this is the information we got from everything that I just forementioned. What kind of patterns are developing here that I can notice that are going to lead me to more things that I can investigate that will help me either catch the perpetrator or perpetrators? What was the crime motivation behind it? So basically what I'm trying to say is what they'll do is they'll look at patterns of what led up to the crime, patterns of behaviors pertaining to the perpetrators, whether they're identified yet or not, okay, and all the different variables that are involved in investigating the crime. Patterns are a big aspect of trying to solve a crime, because whenever they have like say if it's a gang that's committed more than one crime, say 3 crimes, and the way that they have engaged in their crime, if there's any patterns within those 3 crimes that start to develop, and then you attach that to indisputable physical evidence and or eyewitness testimony, then they're gonna build on that and say, well, this is more than circumstantial evidence because of the patterns, okay, of all the variables that will connect together and connect the dots. And this is what will lead the detectives to the next step, the next step, the next step, and the identified parties. Okay? So, just like when you're trying to solve a puzzle, you see the patterns in a puzzle because you have a visual representation on the box of what the puzzle looks like. Hold on. Okay? Just like when you're trying to sew something and you have a pattern to go by. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because what I'm going to do to you is I wrote my little notes here about, I'm going to explain to you as much as I possibly can, and make no mistake about it, this video is not going to have every single detail pertaining to each place, state, and situation pertaining to all these different places. But what I'm going to do is at least give you a preliminary introduction in reference to the patterns that absolutely existed pertaining to, I'm going to start with the 2006 San Diego gang stalking of me. Now, hold on. In fact, no, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to give the name of the apartment, or the street that the apartment was on before the Monroe apartment that I was running in 2005 and 2006, but it was before I came to San Diego in 2006. Hold on. Now, when I was experiencing non-stop daily harassment, my apartment getting broken into, my cat poisoned, indisputable evidence was talked about that in 2006, 7, 8, 9, and even 10 emails concerning what I endured in that apartment and in the Monroe apartment that I rented between 11/29/2009 up until I finally left it and was out of the apartment for good on 10/03 or 4, 2011. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2011 is when I left it for good. Now, what I was doing in both of these concerning my responses to what was happening to me in these 2 apartments, okay, and a lot of it was described in email files, okay, I was going to the ACLU. I was going to news stations. I was continually buying, in one apartment I was buying train tickets to go back to the ACLU, because where I was living at, the ACLU that was dedicated for that particular suburb was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And the train station where I bought these train tickets at to go to the ACLU was right behind the Dearborn Police Department. And since surveillance is a methodology of gang stalking, they could absolutely see where I was going. And since cyber surveillance is also a method of gang stalking, they could see that I looked up at libraries Amtrak. Okay, so they could... Let's see if anybody approaches me while I'm making this video. And that means anybody. Okay? Now, hold on. So, what I was doing, okay, before I got evicted from the apartment that I had in 2006, and before I left the apartment, the Monroe apartment that I was telling you about that I left for good in 2011, what I was doing was going to news stations, the ACLU, I was emailing Amnesty International, I was blogging the shit about what was happening to me. And right before I got evicted from these two apartments, actually before another one too, right before I got evicted from these apartments and before they stole my rent in the Monroe apartment, I was doing these things. And as a result of doing them, I got evicted. Okay, so that's a pattern that's developing. Okay, the ACLU, WDIV, which is a news station in Detroit that covers the surrounding suburbs of Detroit, Dearborn, Michigan. Okay, I was emailing Amnesty International, okay, and I was blogging this shit about what was happening to me. Cyber surveillance, they could and covert physical surveillance, they could see what I was doing. So everything I was doing was a threat to them because they were being exposed. Absolutely. I was taking timelines of what was happening to me down to the news station. I was contacting Amnesty International and telling them what was happening to me. I was emailing the ACLU and physically going down there. Now, I got evicted from where I was living, and then they stole my rent in the second apartment. Hold on. All of this is what I was doing at each of those two, just those two separate apartments. Okay, alone. Right before I got evicted from the one I was renting in 2005 and 6, and right before they stole my rent concerning the Monroe apartment between 2009 and 2011. Okay? Now, when I came to San Diego in 2006, between 1 and 38 days, and I was being gang stalked and harassed in the same exact identical way that I was being gang stalked in Michigan, okay, I started contacting the ACLU, Amnesty International, and a prosecutor in Wayne, Michigan, about some of my experiences in Michigan. The San Diego police came to my hiking area and evicted me. Now, I've already made some videos concerning about what they physically did towards me at that camping area in 2006, and I don't think I got time in this video to regurgitate that, so I'll make a separate video sometime this week, upload it within the next 10 days, and I'll try and remember to put that video's URL link in the description of this one. Okay. Now, so, within 3 days of me sending an email to Kim Worthy, a prosecutor in Wayne, Michigan, about some of the things I was dealing with here in San Diego, I made a statement in one of the emails, I don't trust the San Diego police. And when they came to my camping area in 2006, they engaged in absolute techniques to try and gain my trust. And then through intimidation and influencing and the eviction, their goal was to intimidate me about being arrested and or ticketed if I got caught again hiking anywhere, which is the same exact thing they're doing now. Okay? Pattern of behavior. Okay? Now, I go back to Michigan. The same exact bullshit occurs. Now, when I went back to Michigan is when I then also rented, I'm not going to say if I rented any other apartments before the Monroe apartment, but the same exact technique happened towards me in reference to, after I left the Monroe apartment, I started going to lawyers, the ACLU, continually contacting the ACLU, news stations, and Amnesty International through emails from U of M in Dearborn, Michigan, and Ann Arbor, Michigan, and at separate libraries, like Henry Ford Centennial Library, the Bloomfield Hills Public Library, gang stalk at all of these places. Okay? And I was doing it, and I also was catching video evidence at U of M. Now, I looked up a law firm, the Benner & Benner Law Firm, which was located in Farmington Hills, Michigan, concerning two separate hospitals, mainly Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan. Within a week of me going there, and within the same week, within a 10-day period of me going there and catching video evidence at U of M and making multiple complaints to U of M security, I got evicted from my camping area, which was directly across the street from U of M. Okay? On top of contacting Amnesty International from U of M Library, ACLU, going down to the ACLU, and exposing the shit about what was happening to me through blogs concerning what was occurring along my routes and at U of M. Same pattern. Now, in Connecticut, the same exact thing happened in Connecticut. Gang stalk from Michigan to Connecticut, which is where I was at before I came back to San Diego on August 8, 2011. Gang stalked at my camping areas, gang stalked along all my routes, gang stalked at libraries, gang stalked in businesses, Social Security. Okay, I contacted the ACLU from Stamford, and the ACLU that was dedicated to the suburb, the community of Stamford, was located in Hartford. I left Stamford to go to Connecticut, Canton, Connecticut, and then from Canton, Connecticut, I went down to Hartford, Connecticut to do a geographical survey about how to get to the ACLU once I got off the bus, and then I was going to basically gauge how long it takes to get there once I got off the bus, allot a certain amount of time for me to talk to the people at the ACLU, and then in order to get back to the bus stop so I could get back to Canton in time in order to get to my camping area. So the first and only time that I went down there for this was to probe how long it would take to do these things. I got set up and arrested. And they used the business for it. Go to Google and type in gang stalking in businesses. Okay, I was also contacting Amnesty International, okay, and a state representative from a library in Canton, Connecticut. And the day I did that, they staged an event in that library. Absolutely. They also hacked into some of my blogs that I made on August 1st in that library. You know, my name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. So the reason why, you can obviously see by now, the reason why I discussed about what detectives will do pertaining to when they investigate criminalities, they look for patterns. If patterns are involved in the crime. Now, everything that I just stated to you are just a preliminary introduction in reference to every single time since I've been back in San Diego since August 8, 2011, that I have looked up lawyers, law firms, okay, in San Diego, and contacted news stations through Twitter and the ACLU through Twitter. I have either been arrested, ticketed, assaulted, and or forced to move. Hold on. I'm going to repeat that. Every single time that I have looked up lawyers, law firms, and or a doctor, a specific type of doctor that is dedicated to, well, let me just put it to you this way. James Walbert is a victim of gang stalking. He's all over the internet. He's one of the most popular targets of this crime because he has gotten some national attention pertaining to some subcrimes that can happen to gang stalking victims. Neural implantation. It's all over the internet. Just Google it. So he employed a Dr. Hilda Garsanger from Los Angeles. She's a toxologist, because whenever a target individual is implanted, these implants will produce radiation as a result of them being neurologically accessed by the perpetrators, which is the reason for the implantation. As a result of the frequencies being sent to the implants, radiation is emitted. That gets into the bloodstream. A toxologist can ascertain that through a blood test. And that's why James Walbert, okay, hired her. Hold on. Right before the Rose Canyon event occurred, within 10 days before the Rose Canyon event occurred on 8/9/2015, okay, where I caught a San Diego Park Ranger openly admit on video that they came there as a result of retaliation because I sent San Diego Police Chief Zimmerman indisputable evidence that I'm being gang stalked and more. That tweet is in the blog that I've already aforementioned in reference to its title. Okay, within 10 days before that event occurred, I was looking up her address at the North University San Diego Public Library, where I got indisputable audio evidence that I'm gang stalked in there. Now you can go to YouTube and research at Google cyber surveillance and gang stalking, and you can also YouTube gang stalking bullying on steroids to flat out see a Lieutenant Larry Richards from the Santa Cruz Police Department flat out admitting that cyber surveillance is a methodology of gang stalking. So they could basically see that I was doing that, and did they just basically try to head me off at the pass? I went out to see a David Larson, in Yucca Valley in 2012. Was it for that same purpose? You can Google David Larson images of his implants. I went out to see him in 2012. I looked up his address and all transportation services and their routes to get from La Jolla to Yucca Valley at the UCSD Biomedical Library, the North University San Diego Public Library, and SDSU Love Library. Their computers. So, I was gang stalked at every single one of these places. Audio evidence has been caught, and even video evidence, okay, of this harassment, which was identical at each place, to a T. And that harassment is exposed in that blog, okay? So, when we look at, okay, now, basically what I'm saying is this. As soon as my phone boots up, I'm going to show you some of the evidence that I endured in Yucca Valley. Okay, some of the Yucca Valley evidence is in that blog. I'll mention the blog title again. UCSD and Law Library, Are They Networking Gang Stalking? So I'm going to play you 2 audio files, which I played in many of my videos, of me being openly, verbally harassed here in La Jolla on Thanksgiving Day 2013, and then how the same exact identical harassment, almost to an identical T, okay, was caught in Yucca Valley. Now, when I went out to Yucca Valley to connect with David Larson, which it didn't work out because they were gang stalking the shit out of me when I went out there, okay, I came back. I was out there for 1 week. Now, when you listen to this evidence concerning what would happen in La Jolla that was caught on Thanksgiving Day 2013, and then what was caught in Yucca Valley, you can see the harassment is identical to a T. And these locations are 169 miles apart. Now, why would they pull the massive gang stalking of me in Yucca Valley to mentally wear me out while I was being physically worn out because I took too much stuff with me, and plus trying to find David Larson's place while being harassed by police, intimidated by him creatively, and gang stalked and harassed everywhere I went. Everywhere I went. Okay? Now, one of the things, if a target individual is implanted, illegally, non-consensually implanted, I suggest you look at the Oakwood Hospital, Dearborn, Michigan bullshit that's in the blog. And the reason why I'm not saying that it's bullshit, what I'm saying is that the crime is nothing but craziness. Okay, what they were doing to children, and what happened to me as a result of me going to the law firm that was dedicated to the class action lawsuit because of what happened to those children by Oakwood. Within a week of me going to that law firm, I was evicted from my camping area. And what did they do to these children at Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan? Neural implantation. So, I look up Dr. Hildegard Sandiger's address and phone number and email account 10 days before the Rose Canyon event occurred. I go out to Yucca Valley and I'm gang stalked like you would not believe and intimidated out there, causing me to come back to La Jolla. Okay? And in Michigan, within 10 days of me going to the Benner & Benner law firm, I get evicted from my hiking area. Identical. Fellow American citizens, my name is Leslie Williams. When you're being gang stalked, they want to keep you in the isolation of these criminal realities. They don't want you getting help. They don't want to be exposed. And if your body has been illegally and non-consensually, okay, hacked and implanted, if you find a doctor that's willing to help you, it shows that you are a victim of one of the subcrimes of gang stalking, which is all over the internet, that targeted individuals are being neurally and physiologically implanted for non-consensual human experimentation, which can also include military. So if they know they've done this to you, they don't want you getting any help. Do you understand? Now, through the cyber surveillance, they can see that you're reaching out and preparing to go get this help. And so what they'll do is take advantage of the homelessness by coming to where you're camping or resting and ticketing you for illegal lodging, encroachment, or trespassing, or arrest you or ticket you for it. To keep you tied up in the busyness of that, of having to move, to have to deal with the effects and results of the tickets and arrests, and to use the police reports and probation to steer you environments that are literally owned by the organized crime syndicates that are doing this to you. Group homes. Literally. Hold on. Now, does anybody really believe that, since it's all over the internet, that organized stalking, gang stalking, targeted individuals can be neurally implanted and can absolutely be victims of non-consensual human experimentation and non-consensual military human experimentation, which includes torture? Do you honestly think for 1 minute that an individual like me, who's got over 1,000 audio files of indisputable evidence that I'm being gang stalked, and it's all over the internet that gang stalking is directly connected to these some crimes, then if you add the audio and video evidence of me being gang stalked to any physical evidence that could be taken from my body, it indisputably would prove the torture. And they don't want this. Do you understand? So what they'll do is head the victim off at the pass before they can get that help. Do you understand? Do you really think that they go through everything that they go through to create the homelessness of the target? To just get up and say, okay, aha, we created the homelessness, you're now in it, bye. No, they did it to exploit the target. Do you hear two men say gang stalking, and gang stalking, I'll fuck you up? Now that's the event that occurred in La Jolla on Thanksgiving Day 2013. I have 1,000 audio files of this shit being said around me and worse. In the same exact identical way everywhere I go, every single day. The only way that this could be propped up around me for me to experience is they gotta know where I'm at in real time at all times, which means I'm being illegally GPS tracked. This phone can literally hear everything I'm stating right now if it's hacked by the perpetrators. And I'm going to play you some evidence concerning that. There's applications all over the internet that you can buy that can enable people to do this. Okay, hold on. Now I suggest you go to Google and type in cell phone hacking and GPS tracking and gang stalking. Then go back to Google and type in cell phone hacking, including the microphone hacking of a gang stalking target's phone. Which means that, let me just say this. In the morning, when I leave any area that I might be at, whether I'm at a business or I'm at a resting area or a camping area or whatever, and if I say in my tape recorder, I'm getting ready to leave, let's see if anybody attacks me or approaches me or if any problems transpire, and then I leave that property, okay, they can hear me say it. And then through the real-time GPS tracking of my phone, they know where I'm at down to the foot. That's where they then will say, okay, she's leaving now. Prop up somebody to be at the entrance of where she's at, and then have them assault her, claim that they saw her coming or going, and then use them to call the police so the police can have a normal appearing reason to know where I'm at. That is the stalking of gang stalking. The only way that they could prop up all this verbal harassment I endure every day along all my routes is they gotta know where I'm at. Now, I just played to you the Thanksgiving event that occurred on Thanksgiving Day 2013. This is just one 15-second segment of the Yucca Valley harassment that I endured 11 months before. Now, propping people up along all my routes every day to say gang stalk, crazy, gang stalk, weird, gang stalk, suck my dick, gang stalk, suck dick, gang stalk, oh my god. In that way, every day, everywhere I fucking go. The only way that that could transpire is they gotta know where I'm at in real time. The Yucca Valley event and the Thanksgiving event was played right to the face of. The phone was literally held right up to the ear of at least 9 different San Diego police officers and at least 3 different UCSD campus police officers. They all denied being able to hear it. Because once they admit that I'm factually being gang stalked on a police report, I can sue every single place that took a role in it and them pertaining to UCSD and the gross negligence of duty of all law enforcement that I have attempted to report this to over the years. Do you really think that the city and county government wants to be hit with lawsuits, especially concerning the fact that the county has literally played a role in this? Go to YouTube and type in "learning disabled woman brutally assaulted on an MTS bus." MTS is a government-run and operated transportation service. Now, I strongly suggest you look at that assault video. Then go into the description of that YouTube video to see that that assault was predicted 11 days before it occurred in an email file and where the assault will take place at. Then go to that blog that I told you about and look for the section in the blog that talks about the MTS assault, and you'll see that the MTS assault video is altered. Plus, the police report concerning that assault was absolutely falsified and facts were omitted, left out. So that right there in itself, that alone proves government involvement in this. Now, do you really think, and it was reported that the video was altered, they didn't do a damn thing about it. They laughed in my face. They even tried to imply that I was mentally ill. The San Diego DA's office did. And their little filthy criminal asses. Do you understand? This is organized crime in the system that is perpetrating these criminal realities, and they don't give two shits about anybody. They don't give a flying fuck what they do to anybody, and please excuse my language. I gotta live this way every day. Every day. Okay, now hold on. I'm gonna play it to you right now. I want you to listen to this, what this guy is saying. Listen carefully. It's about GPS tracking, and it's about how they can use your phone as a microphone. And this is not necessarily directly connected. He's not talking about gang stalking. He's talking about the applications that exist. Now, when you hear that a person talking about this, and then go to Google and type in cell phone hacking and GPS tracking and gang stalking, cell phone hacking and gang stalking, and how they can hack into the speaker of the phone and use it as a microphone, so they can gauge what you're going to do and then prop up staged events as a result of the surveillance. Listen.
That you're worried about. Maybe they're being taken advantage of by predators on the internet, whatever. You want to know who they're talking to, so forth. So you install this little application. Okay, once it's loaded, okay, it goes invisible, so you wouldn't see it running there in the apps. Now, your child has that phone and goes on about making phone calls, text messaging, cruising the internet, oblivious to the fact that now with your phone, you can actually hit the application, access their phone, and you can intercept all the text messages. You can listen to all the phone calls that are being made. It actually has a GPS tracker, so you can tell where they're at 24 hours a day. Total eavesdropping capability. And when I saw this application, I said, well, this isn't legal, is it? They said, yes, it's illegal because when you install it on a child's phone, a minor, they don't have the right to the privacy that an adult would be. It's already went through all the legal hurdles. You're going to be able to buy this thing here in a few months. Of course, there have been some that took it and installed it on their spouse, and then found out that their spouse wasn't where they were supposed to be. But people say, well, I don't believe this technology. Well, Steve, you and I already know the answer to this. We'd heard about this many years ago, and they called it roving wiretaps, where two people go and sit at a Starbucks. They're outside having a cappuccino. They both lay their phones on the table, and then you have a third-party black ops group that activates the microphone on the handsets, and they activated that speaker now, and so they can hear everything that you're talking about. Well, now, folks, if it's just coming to the public eye as a public application that anybody will be able to buy and sign up for.
See, did you also hear him say about how phone calls can be intercepted, how emails can be intercepted or rerouted? Go to Google and research that to gang stalking. That's one of the mechanisms they use to keep us isolated in these crimes until the crime can be achieved in reference to the criminal motivation of why the target's being picked for these crimes. One victim of gang stalking can be targeted for 9, 10, 11 different criminal motivations: human trafficking, sexual servitude rings, massive insurance fraud, including murder, because third parties have taken out insurance claims on them. Okay, illegal syndicated probate control, okay, for racketeering, insurance fraud, and human trafficking. Federal funds per individual they get a hold of. See, because part of these crimes is to create the homelessness, try and claim the target can't take care of themselves because they won't get out of the homelessness. That's what the police are used for, and the courts. They try to imply that the target's mentally ill because they're claiming they're being stalked by people they don't know. They're homeless because they claim that the gang stalking created the homelessness of them, even though it did. Okay, so they then will petition the state to take legal custody of you and put you in a group home because they claim you're mentally ill. Now, these group homes are directly connected to the crime syndicates that are literally perpetrating the gang stalking. The gang stalking will continue towards the target in these homes, where massive mental and physical provocations take place. The target is blamed for their response to it, and then petitioned into the psychiatric ward for insurance fraud. The target individual's food, drink, and medication are drugged. The target gets knocked out. They then bring men in to rape the target and videotape it and sell it to pornography groups. Okay? And they apply for federal, state, and local funds in the target's name as a result of them having illegal syndicated probate control. Now, this is where the filthy, lying, maggot, rat-ass cops come into play at. Because in order to get probate control, you got to have a long-term hit, and social services too. You got to have long-term documentation about how long the target's been homeless, and that's one of the reasons why they stage events at the target's camping area. That's achieved through the illegal GPS tracking, and it's the reason why the homelessness is created. It's racketeering, violations of the RICO Act. Man, and oh my God, you would not believe what I know. This is happening to average, everyday people by filthy, maggot criminal whores that the target doesn't even know. Can you imagine this happening to you? And you better be damn sure. You better be damn sure that the public defenders, the prosecutors will covertly work in concert from behind the scenes to make sure that no evidence the target has ever sees the light of day in court, while they engage in clever maneuvering, okay, concerning what they're doing to a target, what the public defender's not doing for a target, okay, and how they publicly defend the target, and how it works in concert with what the prosecution wants to achieve. And then the judge just plays his or her role. And the police are used as a conduit to that courtroom. Do you understand? Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. Bonnie DeMasis and her little filthy criminal ass and her officers, I already know for a fact her little skanky office has been notified by multiple gang stalking targets here in San Diego. That filthy criminal bitch didn't do a damn thing to help one gang stalking victim. You might think this is strong language. Well, imagine this happening to you. Every day when I go out in the community and I buy anything from a roast beef sandwich to a ramen noodle to batteries, anything, I pay taxes. That skanky, filthy bitch's salary, the cop salaries, so they can be used against me to eventually whisk me into criminal syndicate control for the most heinous crimes your mind can conceive and cannot. While my taxes are paying these filthy maggot red-ass horse salaries. Hold on. And yours too. Hold on. So, fellow American citizens, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't sleep around. I don't steal. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity. I'm not mentally ill. I'm not a threat to myself or other. I've been assaulted now 7 times. If anybody approaches me or this fucking area while I'm making this video, okay, or after it's been made, it'll be directly connected to gang stalking, no matter how they act or what they say, no matter who it is. Hold on. Now, you might notice me looking around, absolutely, because I've been assaulted 7 times now. I'm harassed every day along all my routes, every single day, everywhere I go. Stalking is enough to make anyone concerned about their environment. Absolutely. Make no mistake about it. So every response that I have to this crime is appropriate and absolutely proportional to what I'm dealing with. Okay? And these crimes are designed to mentally and physically provoke a target so that they can then arrest the target. Make no mistake about it. Hold on a minute. Now, in closing, I also want you to go to Google and type in SDPD corruption. SDPD has got almost, if not the most, it's been implicated in a lot of newspapers and police corruption investigations as being the most corrupt police department in the United States. Do you think that's an accident? Do you think that's an accident? Do you think I'm sitting here telling you that I've requested through UCSD, SDSU, USD, and the San Diego Police Department and the San Diego Sheriff's Department to make a police report that I'm being gang stalked, and they told me no to my face each and every time? Do you think that's an accident? I don't think so. Okay. So go to Google and type in police and gang stalking. So, as a result of the patterns of behavior, and I only briefly touched on them, I did not, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I did not even describe 0.25% of the patterns, okay, that have been played out concerning me and what's happening to me and what has. Not even 0.25. So if you want to re-listen to this video to see the patterns, to listen to the patterns again, and then so you can connect the dots maybe better, because I did talk a little fast in this video. Hold on. Sorry about the noise. I went through thousands upon the money I went through surviving this crime, exposing it, staying safe from it. It's just, you would not believe when I got banned from Rose Canyon, okay, I had to leave behind hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, okay, of property there, and I can never go back and get it. And they'll set me up to arrest me. Make no mistake about it. If I was to go back over there, they'd arrest me just like that, because that's what they want. It's probably why they banned me from it. Okay, as a direct result of that fucking park ranger lying right on the stand, and then I caught him afterwards admitting that he did it. So go to that blog, because the video confession of Rose Canyon's in that blog, and then the audio tape of me catching him confessing that he lied at the evidentiary hearing is in that blog. I got banned from it while they got to fucking walk away, totally scot-free. Okay, so imagine this happening to you. It wasn't just the cost of the property, but it was the cost of replacing it. So know who's in the system taking your tax dollars and the extreme criminality that they're engaged in against the completely, absolute, 100% innocent individual. I gotta go. I'm so sick of talking about this crap. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth. So if you feel like going to that blog, I appreciate it if you do. I made this video to inform, to expose the truth. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.